through chapter 13, which is going to be all in polynomials. So section 1, we're going to learn about the vocabulary that we're going to use with polynomials and what polynomials are. So a polynomial is going to be any expression. Remember, an expression does not have an equal sign. Any expression with more than two terms, remembering that terms are separated by addition and or subtraction, and they are going to be a constant or a variable. Okay, so terms can include multiplication and division, and they're separated by addition or subtraction. So a polynomial is any expression with more than two terms and only whole number exponents. Okay, so you can't have a variable in the exponent, that would not be a polynomial, and you can't have negative exponents. Now, if you remember from the beginning of the year, negative exponents mean that the number or the base is in the denominator of a fraction. So if you have a fraction and the variable is in the denominator, that means that it has a negative exponent, so that would no longer be a polynomial. All of the variables must have whole number exponents. Now, more specifically, you have monomials, binomials, and trinomials. These should all be pretty easy to remember. So a monomial is an expression with one term. Binomial, just like a bicycle, is an expression with two terms. A trinomial, just like a tricycle, is an expression with three terms. Then we're also going to look at the degree of a polynomial. So when they ask about the degree, that is the largest or the greatest exponent. So all you have to do is look through polynomial and find the largest exponent. Then we have standard form. Standard form is when the exponents are in order from greatest to least. So we're just going to have to reorder them so that the exponents start with the biggest exponent and then they decrease. Lastly, we have a leading coefficient. After your polynomial is in standard form, the first coefficient is the leading coefficient. Okay, remember, if your first term was x to the fifth, the leading coefficient will be 1. If there's not a number in front of your variable, that means that the coefficient is just 1. So example 1, we're going to look at identifying monomials, binomials, trinomials, or not a polynomial. So when we look at this first problem, we can see that the exponent is a variable. So that tells us that it is not a polynomial. And I believe there will be a little button on GMM that will say not a polynomial. You'll just click that. When we look at this next problem over here, it has 3 terms. Remember, terms are separated by addition or subtraction. So since it has 3 terms, that is a trinomial. And problem down here, it only has 1 term. So that would be a monomial. And then the last problem over here has 2 terms separated by addition or subtraction. That would be a binomial. The next example wants us to identify the degree. Remember, the degree means the greatest exponent. Okay, so when we look at this first polynomial, it's actually a trinomial because there's 3 terms. The largest exponent is 5. So the degree of that polynomial is 5. When we look at this next one, there is no variable. Okay, this is still a monomial because it has 1 term, but there is no variable. So that means that the exponent of the variable, since it's not there, has to be 0. So the degree, when it's just a constant, the degree of the polynomial is 0. The last one, you should notice that your variable is in the denominator of a fraction. That means that that term is technically 2x to the negative first. Since that has a negative exponent, that is not a polynomial. polynomial in standard form. Remember, standard form has to go from greatest to least. So when we do this first one, the first term is negative 6x to the 4th. Remember, when you always want to use the sign that is in front. If it confuses you to have the subtraction and you don't realize that they're negative, you can always change it to plus the opposite. That helps you. Or you can just know that when there's subtraction, you just use, you treat that as a negative. You always want to use the sign in front of the term. The next term would need to be the exponent of 3, so minus 2x cubed. Then we have squared, so minus x squared. And then lastly, plus 8x. Okay, so the variables, the exponents go in order 4, 3, 2, 1. When we look at this next one, you should notice that it has an exponent of a negative 2. Remember, you cannot have negative exponents, so that is not polynomial. The last one down here, we have to combine like terms. So the largest exponent is 5, and we have two terms that both have an exponent of 5. So therefore, those are like terms, so we have to combine those. So we have 4 and negative 6, that's going to give us negative 2 x to the 5th. Then we have an exponent of 3 next, and that's the only one, so plus 6x to the 3rd cubed. And then lastly, we have two terms that are both x squared. So again, we have to combine those. So 9 and negative 7 is going to give you positive 2x squared. Again, that is in standard form because the exponents are going from greatest to least, 5, 3, 2. Okay, last example. Identify the lead coefficient. So in order to get the lead coefficient, it just needs to be the coefficient of the variable of the term with the largest variable. So when we look here, this term has the largest exponent of 5, so therefore that would be the first term. So your leading coefficient is negative 6. And the next one, we notice that we have an exponent of b. That is not a polynomial. You cannot have an exponent that's not a polynomial. And then for this last one, we have the largest exponent is x to the 5th. Okay, so your leading coefficient would be 6. Okay, if you need any help or have any questions, please reach out to me on Teams or through